Good morning, viewers. Welcome to the Business News channel. It is Tuesday morning, September 17, 2024, and I'm your host, Sunil Thakker of Sunny Talks Money. Let's roll. Wall Street traders gearing up for this week's Federal Reserve decision kept driving a rotation out of the tech mega caps that have powered the bull market in stocks. Traders are of the opinion that this Fed decision has been marked by higher uncertainty than usual. Some investors have grown worried about the fragility of the economy, while recent data showing some Americans are struggling to keep up with bills. Some traders believe that the Federal Reserve will kick off its interest rate easing campaign with a big cut. In the run up to the Fed decision, strategists from Morgan Stanley to Goldman Sachs Group and JP Morgan Chase are saying that the size of the reduction is less relevant for stocks than the health of the US economy, and that investors are getting incrementally more concerned about growth. This was evident by the fact that the S&P 500 eked out a slight gain in a subdued session and is now less than 1% from its closing record set in July, while the Nasdaq fell, weighed down by a drop in technology stocks. Meanwhile, the Dow Jones rose to a record close. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 228 points or 0.55% to 41,622, a record. The S&P 500 gained 7 points or 0.13% to 5,633, and the Nasdaq Composite lost 91 points or 0.52% to 17,592. The Bloomberg Magnificent 7 gauge of mega caps slipped 0.7%. The Russell 2000 of small firms added 0.3%. Of the 11 S&P 500 sectors, only tech and consumer discretionary stocks were lower on the day, while financials and energy were the best performers. Apple dropped 2.78% as the biggest drag to both the benchmark S&P index and the Nasdaq Composite after an analyst at TF International Securities said demand for its latest iPhone 16 model was lower than expected. The demand concerns also weighed on chip makers, with Nvidia the best performer of the S&P 500 this year, down 1.95%, Broadcom off 2.19%, and Microtech 4.43% lower to push the Philadelphia SE Semiconductor Index down by 1.41%. Intel Corp jumped 6.36% after a report showed it qualified for as much as $3.5 billion in federal grants to make semiconductors for the U.S. Department of Defense. Meanwhile, Boeing declined 0.78% after the plane maker said it was freezing hiring and weighing temporary furloughs in the coming weeks as its workers' strike stretched to its fourth day. Volumes on the US exchanges was 9.74 billion shares compared with the 10.75 billion average for the full session over the last 20 trading days. Treasury yields edged lower. The benchmark 10-year yield declined to 3.622%, the lowest since July 2023, while yields on 2-year Treasury notes, which are especially sensitive to interest rate expectations, fell to 3.554%, the lowest level since September 2022. The Japanese yen rallied to stand at about 140 yen per dollar. The Japanese stock market was closed for a holiday today. Oil prices rose. Future for Brent, the global oil benchmark, climbed 1.6% to $72.75 a barrel. The election, the economy, just how big this week's US interest rate cut will be has left the market on an edge. That's it for today, folks. See you tomorrow morning. In the meantime, let us know in the comment section what are your thoughts for the market. Happy investing, stay inspired, and remember, it is all about money.